let me ask you this:
Hmm.
Do you think I know I respect Dame and everything that what he values as far as like loyalty, but do you think his loyalty is ultimately going to like cost him as far as just him individually looking back on his career from the public from the public eye, you know what I'm saying? Like the fans, the media, just when people go back and think about Dame when he was retired, like do you think him staying in Portland is gonna, you know, kind of I don't want to say hurt his legacy. I don't like when people say that, but when people look back, do you think they're gonna kind of look at it as in like, man, he was loyal, he stayed with his team, he wrote it out, or like he just wasted his time in Portland?
So it that's gonna depend on who you ask, but in my opinion, I don't think it's gonna hurt him. Like you said, I don't like the term when people use like his legacy or stuff like that. But when people look back, I do think that they will wish that he went somewhere and got a ring because I think he's more of a fan favorite. I don't really hear anybody hating on Dame for real. I think a lot of people want him to succeed and get a championship. And when we say, we want him to move or we wish we could see him with a more competitive team. Like that's what we're all talking about. We're talking about championship. We want to see him win a championship. So for me, it doesn't cost him because we know how talented he is. We know the kind of player he is. We know how hard he works. It's just that we do wish we could see him in another team competing for, having a legit chance to compete for a championship. But we know as a basketball player, and the respect we have for him, we know that he is already a top 75 player. And I mean, the guy is a superstar. I don't think it's gonna hurt him at all. I mean,
Definitely.
he is one of those guys that he can carry your team. Uh,
Yeah,
but I don't think it's gonna hurt him when people look back on his like his career.
yeah, definitely. Because I feel like the people like us want to see him win a championship. But if he doesn't, I don't think, like you said, he's a superstar. But I don't think Dame is one of those players where it's like championship or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like how it was for KD or LeBron or uh, Curry to a degree. Like as far as getting this fourth championship, as far as it determining how we view them. Once it's all said and done, I feel like Dame will be okay if he doesn't get a championship
Mm-hmm.
because he is a top 75 player. And because of that, some people may view like he needs to get one since he is valued that high as top 75. I know I personally kind of question him being in the top 75, just me personally. But when you look at his accolades, it's I mean, you can't really argue too much. But um, I feel like some people will hold that title of top 75 to a specific standard and may use that against him if he doesn't get a championship. And when you look at it in that perspective, I feel like you'll people will gravitate to him deciding to stay in Portland and say, well, since you didn't leave, this ultimately did cost you. But me personally, I don't think it's gonna hurt him too much. But that top 75 name does hold weight in some people's eyes, which is kind of unfair because there's plenty of top 75s that didn't win championships. So it's really depends on how you look on it. But me personally, no, I just thought that was a good question to ask because if you remember before the season, all the noise about him possibly leaving, everybody saying they wish he would leave. I was one of those people because I believe he does deserve better. But you do ultimately have to respect his loyalty and wanting to grind it out. Because Giannis did the same thing and it got him a championship. He just happens to be with a franchise with better talent and people more willing to make those moves. So um, yeah, we'll see how it plays out. He's still got some years left in him. Hopefully it works out for him though.